So the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita is named as Purushottam Yoga, or in English, Prabhupada names the chapter as Yoga of the Supreme. So in that chapter, very, very instructive chapter, 15th chapter, those who want to study the Vedas, they recite all the 15 chapters. Vedic Karmakanda schools, because Krishna says about Vedas there. So they recite this 15th chapter. And also, as the way you have, I believe His Grace Kadam Kalam must have taught this, the way you have Chatushloki Gita in 10.8, 9, 10, and 11. Similarly, you have 3 Shloki Gita, Bhagavad Gita in 3 shlokas, right? So that is 15.16, 17, and 18. These 3 slokas are called 3 Shloki Bhagavad Gita. So towards the end of this chapter, Krishna says, towards the end of this 15th chapter, Krishna speaks that basically the 15th chapter, Krishna says that there is an imperishable tree, which is upside down tree, Aswatha tree. Aswatha tree, and that tree represents the material world. The whole material world is being represented by that particular tree, or the whole Vedic knowledge, material which is dealing with the material knowledge is being represented by that tree. Material world, basically, upside down tree. And in that tree, he says that there is like how the modes are nourishing the roots of that tree. That roots of the tree, they are nourished by the modes. Like that Krishna says in Bhagavad. And there are fruits, there are branches, there are twigs, and like all this trees is described in the 15th chapter. So 16th chapter is nothing but talks about what are the fruits of those trees. So there are in fruit, generally in one tree you get one type of fruit only. But here there are sweet fruits and bitter fruits in this particular tree. So the divine qualities are considered to be good fruits, and the demoniac qualities are considered to be the bad fruits of the tree. So that's what is being described in the 16th chapter. That basically deals with the divine qualities and the demoniac qualities. The whole chapter deals with that. So towards the end, Krishna is telling that in 15th chapter, as you see here, Yomam evam asam mudho janati purushottamam sa sarvavid bhajati man sarva bhavena bharata. A person who knows me to be the supreme, that is Purushottam. That's how the next chapter is named as Purushottam Yoga. So Yomam evam asam mudho. That person who knows me to be the supreme, who that person, what he does, he is considered to be the all-knowing personality. So Sarvavid, and he always engages in my devotional service. That person. That's very clearly being spoken here. Then you might ask, what about that person who does not know about you? That he talks about in the next chapter. And again, in the last sloka, Krishna says, Iti guhyatamam shastram. This guhyatam knowledge. Srila Prabhupada elsewhere, he tells that this Bhagavad Gita speaks about guhya knowledge. Guhya, very confidential. That is, Prabhupada says that 2nd and 3rd chapter deals with subject matter that are guhya, very confidential. That is that the knowledge of spirit soul, the difference between matter and spirit. And then the 7th and 8th chapter, they talk about guhyatar knowledge, guhyatar gyan. So that is about Krishna's Aishwarya Gyan. And the 9th and 10th chapter talks about the Guhyatam Gyan, like that Prabhupada explains. So that's about Krishna's sweetness. So, so here, iti guhyatam shastram, iti uktam mayanagha. I have, and Krishna is addressing Arjuna as sinless person. Or else he is indicating that this Guhyatar Gyan can be understood by a person who is sinless. This is a very uh, mandate, a strong mandate for a person who wants to understand Bhagavad Gita. If you want to understand this Gita, then what? One has to be sinless. That's why Srila Prabhupada has given us 4 regulative principles. No meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex. This is very much needed for a person who is trying to understand Bhagavad Gita. Else, a person will not understand anything in Bhagavad Gita. The person is, somehow is trying to, like the Sahajiyas, they accept Krishna as supreme, but they're not sinless. they don't strictly follow the 4 regulative principles. Because of that, they don't understand much. They don't go deeper into spiritual life. They just remain on the surface. That's why he says that iti guhyatam sastram idam uktam mayanagha. Oh sinless Arjuna, I explained you this guhyatam sastra. So now, in the next chapter, Srila Prabhupada tells in the purport, Prabhuji must have explained, but I would still like to just repeat so that it will be easier for us to go to the next chapter. Yeah. So can somebody read this, the word anagha? Yeah, please.
Yeah, Prabhuji. The word anagha by which Arjun is addressed is significant. Anagha, unless one, means that unless one is free from all sinful reactions, it is very difficult to understand Krishna. One has to become free from all contamination, all sinful activities. Then he can understand. But devotional service is so pure and potent that once one is engaged in devotional service, he automatically comes to the stage of sinlessness.
So Srila Prabhupada is telling, Prabhupada is mentioning that to be sinless and to understand Krishna, one has to be sinless. Then only one can understand. But bhakti, devotional service, one does not need to practice bhakti. It's not needed that one has to be sinless to practice bhakti. No. One can practice bhakti, and bhakti will purify. Get rid one all sinful contaminations will be removed by practicing bhakti. So that's not what's being spoken here. That does not mean that bhakti, to understand Krishna actually we need bhakti. But to practice bhakti, it's not needed that one has to become. That's why Tirata, Hunandra, Pulinda, Pulkasa, Avira, Javana, Khashadaya, like that, there is sloka in Srimad Bhagavatam. All kind of simple people, they also can practice. And 9th chapter also you might have read, Striya Vaishya Tatha Sudra, Te Piyanti Paramgati. The Striya Vaishya Sudra, even those who are untouchable, anybody can practice bhakti, devotional service. That's what Srila Prabhupada is telling. Prabhupada would always emphasize the glory of bhakti Prabhupada would emphasize in his purports many a times. Yeah, then Prabhupada is telling, here is one. Yeah, this chapter is also very important. This paragraph, please read while one is performing devotional service.
While one is performing devotional service in the association of pure devotees in full Krishna consciousness, there are certain things which require to be vanquished altogether. The most important thing one has to surmount is weakness of the heart. The first fall down is caused by the desire to lord it over material nature. Thus, one gives up the transcendental loving service of the Supreme Lord. The second weakness of the heart is that as one increases the propensity to lord it over material nature, he becomes attached to matter and the possession of matter. The problems of material existence are due to these weaknesses of the heart. In this chapter, the first 5 verses describe the process of freeing oneself from the weakness of heart, and the rest of the chapter from the 6th verse through the end discusses Purushottam Yoga.
So basically these things are stressed here. And now, coming to the next 16th chapter, why the 16th chapter comes. I already explained you that Krishna speaks about that tree, which is the imperishable tree, Ashwatha tree. And that tree has fruits, bad fruits and good fruits. And the fruits are being described in the 16th chapter. And also, what are the sinful qualities by which one does not understand Krishna? One becomes Krishna Vimukh. That quality is being described here. So I'll just share one. Here's the chapter introduction, and this particular slide is being taken from our Gaurang Darshan Prabhu's Gita Subodhini. He divides the chapter like this. The first three slokas of this chapter, they talk about divine qualities. First three slokas. The chapter in total has 24 slokas. The first three slokas, they talk about divine qualities. And then fourth to eight, in five slokas, Krishna talks about demoniac qualities. And then ninth is that he assures Arjun that Arjun, don't worry, you are not in this quality. Because Arjun, after hearing demoniac quality, he gets a doubt. Probably I also belong to I belong to the demoniac quality. Then Krishna assures him, no, Arjun, you are not of that quality. Then in 10 to 20, he describes again what are the tendency, the behavior, the thought process of this demoniac. 10 to 20, almost 11 verses, Krishna talks about in further details. And 20 and 24, these 5 verses, he talks about the three gateways to hell. And he summons the Arjuna and all the hearers to follow the scriptures. Because divine and demoniac, they are categorized on the basis of adherence to the scriptures. The divine are those people who follow the scriptures, and demoniac are those people who don't follow the scriptures. This is the summary Krishna gives towards the end of this chapter. He says that very simple, Arjun, don't worry who is divine, who is demoniac, and how, whether the person is born with divine, can he become, the person is born with demoniac tendency, can he become divine? Yeah, Krishna speaks that towards the end, that this is just simple criteria, that anybody who follows the scriptures is divine, and anybody who does not follow the scriptures is demoniac. Very simple, it goes towards the end. Okay, so we'll be going to the chapter. This particular statement is from Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's introduction to this chapter, 16th chapter. Can somebody read this?
In this chapter, Krishna describes the fruits of the tree, which are of two varieties. Good fruits, divine qualities that cause liberation, and bad fruits, demoniac qualities that cause bondage. First, he describes the good fruits.
So first three slokas, he talks about the good fruits. Okay, so we'll go to the slokas in Bhagavad Gita. All of you can recite. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Abhayam. Somebody, one of you can unmute and recite after me, so that I'll come to another dual reciting. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Abhayam Sattva Samsuddhi.
Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhir.
Jnana Yoga Vyavastitihi.
Jnana Yoga Vyavastitihi.
Danam Damascha Yajnascha.
Danam Damascha Yajnascha.
Swadhyaya Staparjavam.
Swadhyayasthaparjavam.
Ahimsa Satyam Akrodhas.
Ahimsa Satyam Akrodhas.
Tyaga Shanti Apaishunam.
Tyagah Shantirapaishunam.
Daya Bhutesu Aloluptvam.
Daya Bhuteshu Aloluptvam.
Mardavam Riya Chapalam.
Mardavam Rirapa Chapalam.
Teja Kshama Dhriti Saucham
Tejah Kshama Dhriti Shaucham
Adroho Natimanita
Adroho Natimanita
Bhavanti Sampadam Daivim
Bhavanti Sampadam Daivim
Abhijatasya Bharata.
Abhijatasya Bharata.
So here there are 26 qualities are described. You might have heard about 26 qualities of Vaishnava. Of course, they are different. But here, these qualities are, they are mostly Sattva-guni qualities. Avayam, Sattva, Samsudit, all are dealing with Sattva-gun. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains. They are dealing with Sattva-gun, and Srila Prabhupada in the purport would always attribute these qualities with the Varnashram. He would say that this quality should have sannyasi, should have this quality. The grihastha should have this quality prominently. And it's not that, and then he would say that this quality should be of Vanaprastha, should exhibit this quality. And this quality should be there with the Kshatriyas. Like that, Prabhupada you'll see that he'll be attributing these qualities to the Varnashram, indicating that these are Sattva-guni qualities. That's why, so, and that's why it's called Daivi Sampat. Then naturally you may say, bro, then devotees don't need to have. Yeah, devotees naturally they possess all these qualities. These qualities are there with them. You'll find that devotees will always have these qualities. Most of them devotees have. And how devotees have, we'll see that. So these 26 qualities are divine qualities. And another thing you will observe, Krishna, every chapter, he has glorified certain good behaviors. In every chapter, second chapter, third chapter, the sixth chapter, 10th, 12th chapter, 11th, 12th chapter, very much Priya. Many verses he explains. These qualities are very dear to me. And then like that. So whenever it comes to devotees, he would glorify their qualities. Born with divine qualities. He emphasizes that. So we'll just go through word-to-word meaning of this because all these are Sanskrit terms and this terminology, you need to understand them. So we'll go to word every particular word and then we'll go for the topics. Okay. So first quality out of the 26 mentioned here is Abhayam. That is fearlessness. Abhayam. Srila Prabhupada's name was Abhay Charan. So Abhayam is fearlessness. As soon as one is placed at the lotus feet of Krishna, one becomes fearless. So that's Abhayam. And then Sattva Samsuddhi, that will come also in 17th chapter, purifying one's existence. Mana prasadat samyatvam, Mana prasadat samyatvam, Stairyam atma vinigraha, bhava samsuddhiriti etat, tapah manasam uchyate. Krishna will tell that. So bhava samsuddhi, sattva samsuddhi, both are very similar. Prabhupada translates bhava samsuddhi as purification of one's existence. So that's sattva samsuddhi. And then jnana. Jnana is knowledge. You all know, very famous, the difference between matter and spirit is called jnana. The beginning of knowledge is called understanding the difference between matter and spirit. That's called jnana. So yeah, Prabhupada also translates jnana as devotional service in 9th chapter, right? Then the 9th chapter is Raja Vidya Raja Viyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam Pratakshya Vagvam Dharmam Susukham Gartum Abhyam. So that's that there the jnana is devotional service because jnana, guhya jnana, guhyatar jnana, and guhyatam jnana. Guhyatam jnana is devotional service, basically. So here the jnana is about difference between matter and spirit. Jnana yoga. And then situated in this one quality, jnana yoga vyavasthiti. And then dhanam. Dhanam is charity. Dhanam is charity. Prabhupada will say that dhanam is basically for grihasthas. Of course, everybody needs to give some charity. Whoever Prabhupada would say very simple terms that in case you have something, in case you have anything more than what you need, you should better distribute or share it with others. That's charity. And then dama. Sama and dama, these two words are very famous. Comes again and again in Bhagavad Gita. Sama means control of mind, and Dhamma means control of senses. Like that. Prabhupada translates here, Dhamma means control of mind. Yeah, and then Yajna means performance of sacrifice. Yajna. The word again, Yajna has different connotations. Prabhupada would very famously use Yajna as Sankirtan Yajna. Anything that is done anything performed to please Lord Vishnu is called sacrifice. Yajna by Vishnu. But here the Yajna is the Pancha Yajnas performing different. And then Swadhyaya. Swadhyaya means study of the Vedic literature. Very important. Very important. It's for all in Krishna consciousness. Anybody who Swadhyaya is the mandate. Very much needed. Study of the Vedic literature. And for us, Vedic literature is Srimad Bhagavatam. The essence of all Vedic literature is Nigama Kalpataru Galitam Phalam Sukhamukat Amrita Drabha Samhitam Pibata Bhagavatam Rasamadayam Muhuraho Rashiva Bhavuka. So for us, Vedic literature means Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srila Prabhupada's purports are Vedic literature. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that the songs of Narottam Das Thakur are Vedic literature. So studying them, understanding them, internalizing them is called Swadhyaya. And then Tapaha. Tapaha means austerity. Austerity. Again and again, Srimad Bhagavatam glorifies austerity. Lord Narayan says that to Brahma that Tapaha, Brahma, you do tapasya. I became Supreme Personality of God by tapasya. Like that he says. Tapam eva swayam jyotir bhagavantam adhukshajam. Tapaswaiva swayam jyotir bhagavantam adhukshajam. He says that tapasya is by tapasya one can achieve Supreme. Of course, another place is that you will not get Supreme Lord by tapasya. Here the tapasya means devotional austerities. And Arjavam means simplicity. From Arjavam the word Arjun comes. Arjun is very simple. So Arjavam. Then Ahimsa. Ahimsa means non-violence. And then Satyam, truthfulness. Satyam. Akrodha. Akrodha means freedom from anger. That is Akrodha. Tyaga. Tyaga means renunciation, detached. And in the spirit, living in the spirit of renounced spirit. That's very much needed. Whether one is Grihastha, Brahmachari, Anaprastha, whatever, one should be living in this world with a renounced spirit. Shanti. Shanti means tranquility, poised. Then Apaishana. Apaishana means not finding fault with others. Very divine quality actually. Not finding fault with anything else. Wherever that's called finding, that's called Sarabhuk. Sarangam iva Sarabhuk. Finding the essence or looking at good of others. Radheshyam Prabhu has a seminar called Learning to See Good in Others. Learning to see good in others. One should learn to see good in not only to other people, with any situation in life. That's called Apaishana. Not that criticizing or finding fault. That's Apaishana. Then Daya. Daya means mercy. So Alolupta means freedom from greed. Lalchine. Lolu. Lalchine. Alolupta. Madhava means gentleness. Re means modest. Very modest. Modest ones in one's eating habits. Modest in one's acquiring habits. Not that I need only modesty. So then gentleness. Sorry. Achapala means chapala means very fickle. Jumping from one conclusion to another conclusion. That's why called chapala sukh. But achapala means determination. Determine. And teja means vigor. Kshama means forgiveness. It's very clear. Dhriti means fortitude. And saucha means cleanliness. And adroha means freedom from envy. Droha. Vidroh. The word vidroh means, is that's envy. Adroha means freedom from envy. And atimanita means not thinking oneself to be too high. Too much bigger calculation, too high estimation of oneself. That's called atimanita. And no atimanita means not thinking oneself to be too, always thinking oneself to be very low and meek, and humility can say this quality. That's what, this is the 26 qualities. So yeah, please somebody can read the translation.
Prabhuji, can we like alphabetically go so that everyone gets a
Sorry?
chance to read? Can we go alphabetically? I'll assign, they can read. Is that okay, Prabhuji?
Okay, fine, that's fine. You
Yes,
can decide. I don't have any problem. I don't know what's the protocol you
yeah,
are following.
yes, Prabhuji, I'll assign alphabetically and one devotee
Okay,
can
that's
read
fine, that's fine.
one
No issue.
like
Yeah.
translation and but okay.
Okay.
Aditya Gaurang too, can you read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. I'm audible, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self-control, performance of sacrifice, study of the Vedas, austerity, simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault finding, compassion for all living entities, freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, steady determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, and freedom from envy and from the passion for honor. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharata, belong to godly men endowed with divine nature.
Yeah. So these 26 qualities. Let's have a look on the Sanskrit terminologies. Okay, I'll just ask randomly. What is Apaisunam? Anybody who remembers Apaisunam? Yes, Asim Prabhu, please tell.
Aversion to fault finding.
Yeah, aversion to fault finding. What's aluluktam? Yes, Deepak.
Freedom from greed.
Freedom from greed, yes. Okay, what's achabalam? I don't know. I'm not able to understand. Anybody? Yeah, please, someone of you, please tell. So many of you have raised hands.
Determination.
Yeah,
Determination, opposite of chapalam.
determination. Yes, determination. Okay. What's Arjavam? Deepak, you answered. Anybody else? Yes. What's Arjavam? Yeah, one of you can say.
Simplicity.
Simplicity, yes. Okay, fine. So these are the qualities. Krishna says these are the qualities belong to godly men endowed with divine nature. Another word Krishna uses the word abhijatasya. Abhijatasya. For one who is born, he says that. Abhijatasya. You may say, Prabhuji, that means a person is born with these qualities. Why? Because generally you say that birth, we don't give so much preference to birth. We say that Janmana Jayate Sudra. When anybody is born, he is born as a Sudra only. So how can a person be born with divine qualities? Why is Krishna says that Abhijatasya here? Anybody would like to speak? Why Krishna says here Abhijatasya? Generally we say that by birth everybody is a Shudra. But
I think
why
Prabhuji here
this?
is telling that he can born these qualities. Look, he can create these qualities in due amount of time.
No, I did not get. Yeah, please repeat.
So I think Krishna is telling here that you can abhijatas, you can born these qualities, or you can create these qualities.
But the word Prabhupada, what's Srila Prabhupada's translation here? Who is speaking? I'm not able to see. If somebody is speaking, if they can switch on their video, that would be nice. Yeah. Why Krishna uses the word abhijata se? Anybody would like to give a try? Why Krishna says abhijata se? You understood my question? Somebody has written in the chat. Okay. Yes, Mandar Prabhu, please tell.
Hare Krishna. So Abhijata says means one who has taken birth with godly qualities. So this happens when, especially if somebody follow the Vedic scriptures, means like if they have done samskaras, they are following all the samskaras.
Yes.
Following
Very good, very good. Perfect. Good. Very close to the right answer. Very good. So actually what I can see, birth, yeah, many people are by birth, they have nice qualities. And it's not that, you can outrightly discard person's birth. That's why king son becomes king. Generally, like father, like son, there is a statement. In Vedis, yeah, one is in the Kali Yuga, there is so much topsy-turvy and naturally, but in the bygone days, Brahmana son used to be a Brahmana. But in the Satya Yuga also, like Bharat Maharaj, Rishabh, sons, 100 sons, 9 of them were Brahmanas, some of them were Kshatriyas, some are Karmakandis, some were transcendental, like that. So, but nevertheless, people used to be born with these qualities also. So it's not that, but you can see from the birth, they used to calculate this person will be very heroic, will have this, that. And the parents also, the samskars, the parents, they do proper samskar, Garbhodhan samskar. Then naturally a child with very divine qualities will be born. That's what Krishna is trying to mention here. Nevertheless, one can cultivate these qualities during the course of one's life by accepting a spiritual master. One can definitely, uh, cultivate these qualities, no doubt. But if one is born with these things, it becomes very natural. Then one's swabhav gets aligned with these qualities. Otherwise, if one is born with, he has to work very hard to align oneself. Like that. Basically, that thing is emphasized here. Correct. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada purport is very instructive. Prabhupada would, I'll be just in today's class, I'll try to complete only these 3 slokas. So Prabhupada says about, yeah, first 2 paragraphs, somebody can read. Yeah.
Aditya Garang Prabhu can continue.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, you'll be sharing the screen.
Okay, I did not say, sorry. Yeah.
In the beginning of the 15th chapter, the banyan tree of this material world was explained. The extra roots coming out of it were compared to the activities of the living entities, some auspicious, some inauspicious. In the 9th chapter also, the devas or godly and the asuras and the ungodly or demons were explained. Now, according to Vedic rites, activities in the mode of goodness are considered auspicious for progress on the path of liberation. And such activities are known as Daivi Prakriti, transcendental by nature. Those who are situated in the transcendental nature make progress on the path of preparation. For those who are acting in the modes of passion and ignorance, on the other hand, there is no possibility of liberation. Either
read here, either.
yeah. Yes. Either they will have to remain in this material world as human beings, or they will descend among the species of animals or even lower life forms. In the 16th chapter, the Lord explains both the transcendental nature and its attendant qualities, and the demoniac nature and its qualities. He also explains the advantages and disadvantages of these qualities. The word
Prabhupada
abhijata,
explained about Abhijata here. Yeah, here the word Abhijata is explained here. Please read.
the word abhijatasya in reference to one born of transcendental qualities or godly tendencies is very significant. To beget a child in a godly atmosphere is known in the Vedic scriptures as Garbhadhana Samskara. If the parents want a child in the godly qualities, they should follow the 10 principles recommended for the social life of the human being. In Bhagavad Gita, we have studied also before that sex life for begetting a good child is Roji, you can scroll down. Yeah. Good child is Krishna himself. Sex life is not condemned, provided the process is used in Krishna consciousness. Those who are in Krishna consciousness at least should not beget children like cats and dogs, but should beget them so that they may become Krishna conscious after birth. That should be the advantage of children born of a father and mother absorbed in Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, so the Prabhupada is mentioning about, his, this is basically contain, this is Srila Prabhupada's mood and mission. You might have, in the beginning of your course, you must have learned the 12 aims, 12 goals of reading the scriptures, studying the scriptures. There's a term called mood and mission of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada is telling those who are in Krishna consciousness in our society, at least they should not beget children like cats and dogs. They should beget to make them into Krishna consciousness. And then Srila Prabhupada is telling about Varnashram here in the purport, how he is attributing all these qualities with different Varna and Ashram. Like that, as I mentioned you. So here Prabhupada is telling about the word Abhayam. In Varnashram, the person who lost their life is considered a fine. The sannyasi is which must have done. Now, first quality Prabhupada is highlighting here. Yeah, read here for a sannyasi.
For a sannyasi, the first qualification should be fearlessness, because a sannyasi has to be alone without any support or guarantee of support. He has simply to depend on the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If one thinks, after I leave my connections, who will protect me? He should not accept the renounced order of life. One should be fully convinced that Krishna or the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his localized aspect as Paramatma is always within, that he is seeing everything and he always knows what one intends to do. One must thus have firm conviction that Krishna as Paramatma will take care of the soul surrendered to him. I shall never be alone, one should think. Even if I live in the darkest regions of a forest, I shall be accompanied by Krishna, and he will give me all protection. That conviction is called abhayam, fearlessness. This state of mind is necessary for a person in the renounced order of life.
So Prabhupada is attributing this first quality of Abhayam to the sannyasis or people who are in renounced order of life. As such, everybody needs this Abhayam. There is Srimad Bhagavatam, Ichatam Akuto Bhayam. If you want to, Yoginam Nipaniranitam, Harer Nama Anukirtanam. He says that. If you want to be fearless, then you chant Krishna's holy name. Chanting, the way to become fearlessness is to chanting Krishna's holy name constantly. Ichatam Akuto Bhayam, there it says. So that quality is necessary for everyone. But Prabhupada is telling here that, but this quality is very much needed for a person who is trying to enter into a renounced order of life. Because anybody who wants to take up the renounced order of life, there will be doubt. What will happen to my parents? Will somebody take care or not? What if, I lose, I leave them, and then what will take care of them tomorrow? That's, will they be maintained or not? So no one should have some conviction that Krishna will definitely maintain. And what about myself? If I fail to continue on the path of renunciation, then what will happen to me? People will laugh at me, and then they'll mock at me. So that kind of fear will be there. So anybody who is trying to enter into renounced order of life, he needs this quality of fearlessness. That's what Prabhupada is mentioning here. So you'll see Prabhupada will give very nice definitions of some of the qualities. Srila Prabhupada's definitions are like Veda Vakya for us. So we need to memorize them, by heart them. You'll see Prabhupada will be explaining down the line. Yeah. Then next is Abhayam Sattva Samsuddhi, that is purification of one's existence. So Prabhupada will say that that's for the sannyasis again. The purification of one's existence is again for people who are trying to enter into the renounced order of life. So as such, it's needed for everybody, but Prabhupada is telling here that a sannyasi is strictly forbidden to associate with women. And they should make sure that they are not intimately connected with any women. And he gives the example of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who would very strictly follow this. And even Prabhupada would say that they have to offer obeisances. They have to offer obeisances from a great distance. Even I have seen in Bengal and Puri, Bhubaneswar, my hometown, ladies and gents, the gents would come near the sadhus, and the ladies would be just standing near the house or inside, and from their distance they will be putting the sari and offering obeisances. They will never come near and start talking to them intimately. That was never seen. Even in my school days, I have seen when I was a small child. The separation was so much. And the sadhus, people would keep a lot of distance. But in our society, like brahmachari and sannyasis, sometimes they have to preach. So, you have to, because of the need, sometimes you have to deal with the matajis. But you have to make sure that you don't intimately deal with them. Just minimum as possible. Once I asked my spiritual master that, Guru Maharaj, can I take, like many of my counselors, they are saying that should go for yatras. And many of them are now, in a part of congregation. So they would, so in future I might have to take, congregation into the yatras. So Maharaj was telling that, no, you should empower some other Grihastha counselors, and they should take yatras. They should take them around. And you should only give lecture from a distance and then push off. You should not do intimate, because as soon as you get into management with them, then you find sometimes young girls are there, they are doing certain management, then you have to deal with them. That's very detrimental for a brahmachari, like that Guru Maharaj was telling. So that kind of separation is always very good. In the name of preaching, in the name of expanding, and we should not get too close, especially those who are trying to enter into brahmachari life. Very much needed for them. Similarly, the same thing applies. It's not physical presence of women. We are while dealing with gadgets, internet, phone, and YouTube. So one might not be intimately associating with women as a person, but one might be associating with in internet in terms of reels or YouTube videos. That's even highly more detrimental than kind of physical dealing. So one has to be very, very careful that one is not, otherwise bhava samsuddhi, purifying one's existence, sattva samsuddhi will never happen. One will be purifying one's consciousness, like that. So this is for those who are renounced of life. And next Prabhupada is explaining about Prabhupada is giving the example of Chota Haridas, who just once lustily glanced upon human, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu banished him. And Mahaprabhu banished him. What Chota Haridas did, Chota Haridas, he came, I heard that he came to this Prayagraj. And from there, he jumped from into the Triveni Sangam. And he committed suicide. Prabhupada says in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and Brahma, he lustily was chasing, for his own daughter. Then he realized what he's doing, the mistake what he's doing. Then what he did, he also gave up his body. Prabhupada says he also gave up his body. So, of course, Prabhupada never recommended this for his followers in ISKCON, definitely for sure. But nevertheless, you can see one person was telling, I was distributing Bhagavad Gita. He was telling that आपके ब्रह्मा जी ने पहले आचार्य है. He did this kind of thing with his own daughter. So what's wrong? And your parampara is like this. Father is after daughter, but he never knows that what Brahma actually did. Brahma gave up that body. And it was not that Brahma was enjoying with her. It was not like that. Yeah. So Prabhupada says here, Prabhupada is telling, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that for a sannyasi or for a grihast brahmachari or anyone who is aspiring to go beyond the clutches of the material nature and trying to elevate himself spiritually and understanding the spiritual nature, wants to go to the fourth part of the spiritual world. That person, if he is trying to do sense gratification, then that is like worse than drinking poison. Niskincananam bhagavat bhajanam mukhasya param param jigamishor bhavasagarasya sandarsanam vishainam yathayositam cha ha hanta vishavakshana apriya sadhu. Like that he says. So then next is Jnana Yoga Vyavasthiti. That's called purifying. No, sorry. Jnana Yoga Vyavasthiti means being situated on the platform of knowledge. And that's again for sannyasis. Always situated in the level of knowledge. Always being on that platform. So the meaning of Jnana means what? The meaning of Jnana means whenever you look around, Radheswami Prabhu says in very famous statement, look around and see Krishna. Like that. So that's for, obviously that's for a devotee. But for a sannyasi, and generally the word sannyasi means they're Jnani sannyasis. So those who have taken this Jnana sannyas. So these sannyasis, they have to see always in the platform of knowledge, seeing everything on the platform of knowledge. Whenever they will see, try to see everything on the platform. Is just a manifestation of the three modes, matter, and it's nothing else. It's the composition of the three modes. Like that they have to see. And how we have to see? We have to see everything as the manifestation of Krishna's mercy, his presence, Krishna's expansion, and Krishna's energy. So that's a devotee sees. Lord Jnani sees like that. Like that it's been spoken here. Yeah. And then next quality is humility. Yeah, not dashes. So sannyasi is going from door to door and begging. Sattva Samshuddhi and Jnana Yoga Vyavasthiti and Abhayam. These three qualities are for Prabhupada is summarizing. A sannyasi or in our sort of life must be situated in these three qualities: fearlessness, Sattva Samshuddhi, and Jnana Yoga Vyavasthiti. These are sannyasis. These three qualities. Okay. Next is charity. So Prabhu, how long do you have to go? Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji till 8:15.
Sorry?
Till 8:15, Prabhuji.
Okay. So then do you have to give time for question answer or
Yes,
or
Prabhuji.
this
Till
is
8:15. No, 8:15 it's included. Question answers included.
okay. So I'll go 5 more minutes, cover some more quality, and then I'll be giving time for question answers.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay, the next is charity. Please read. Somebody can read this.
Shantanu, I'll continue.
Yes, Prabhuji. You can continue.
The next item is charity. Charity is meant for the householders. The householders should earn a livelihood by an honorable means and spend 50% of their income to propagate Krishna consciousness all over the world. Thus, a householder should give in charity to institutions and societies that are engaged in that way. Charity should be given to the right receiver. There are different kinds of charity, as will be explained later on. Charity in the modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Charity in the mode of goodness is recommended by the scriptures, but charity in the modes of passion and ignorance is not recommended because it is simply a waste of money. Charity should be given only to propagate Krishna consciousness all over the world. That is charity in the mode of goodness.
This Dhanam, Srila Prabhupada explains that this is for householders. And Prabhupada is telling that one should give 50% of their income to propagate Krishna consciousness all over the world. Of course, that might be a big number for many of you. But nevertheless, one should give charity. Some percentage of one's income has to be given for Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada, when he was a Grihastha, he was so exemplary that he would give so much of his income to the Gaudiya Math for helping the sannyasis, Bhakti Saranga Maharaj and Tirtha Maharaj, Bhakti Pradeepa Tirtha Maharaj. And he would call them, invite them to his house and help the mathas. Prabhupada would be very ideal in his Grihastha life. So that's very much needed. One has to make sure that one is a good amount of one's income is being invested for invested. The investment is not a good term. It's being donated for propagation of Krishna consciousness. One has to find out one's very a devotee who one has trust, and then can donate to him or to the temple in which you are connected to. We can give in the temple funds so that it is used. Spiritual master basically one gives charity so that it is used for spreading Krishna consciousness. Very much needed. It's a mandate for householders. Yeah. Okay. And next is Dhamma. Dhamma means self-control. That's Prabhupada would say is for Grihasthas again. Okay. Yeah, somebody can read this one.
Then, as far as Dhamma, self-control is concerned, it is not only meant for other orders of religious society, it is especially meant for the householder. Although he has a wife, a householder should not use his senses for sex life unnecessarily. There are restrictions for the householders even in sex life, which should only be engaged in for the propagation of children. If he does not require children, he should not enjoy sex life with his wife. Modern society enjoys sex life with contraceptive methods or more abominable methods to avoid the responsibility of children. This is not in the transcendental quality, but it's demoniac. If anyone, even if he's a householder, wants to make progress in spiritual life, he must control his sex life and should not beget a child without the purpose of serving Krishna. If he is able to beget children who will be in Krishna consciousness, one can produce hundreds of children, but without this capacity, one should not indulge only for sense pleasure.
So begetting children is not condemned, but raising them into Krishna consciousness. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur had 13 children. Srila Prabhupada had many children. You see that Vaishnava philosophy does not bar one from raising Krishna conscious children. That's why it's called self-control. And then sacrifice. That is yajna. Yeah, this is the last. Prabhupada says here that everybody should be performing yajna. Sacrifices for everybody. Brahmachari, Vanaprastha, Sannyas, and Grihastha is for all. Householders generally they do this Agnihotra and all, but we Vaishnavas we don't engage. Is Sankirtan Yajna. And so in chapter, I think 10th chapter, Krishna says, Yajnana Japa Yajnasmi. The Japa Yajna is the best of The Sankirtan Yajna, the chanting of the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare is the best, most inexpensive yajna. If you can adopt it and derive the benefit. So charity, self-control, and yajna is for householders. These three are for householders. Okay, so we are open for some questions, or should we go ahead? Maybe I can see if any of you have any questions. Please ask.
Hare Krishna. Maharaj.
Yes, bro.
This question is regarding from Shloka only. There are 2
Mhm.
points coming through, fortitude and bigger Puji. That you
Mhm.
can please explain what is the meaning of this.
Yeah, we have not reached there. I knew you will ask this. Ardavam, sorry, Arjavam, all these things. That when we come to there, we'll explain. So, anything which we covered this Swadhyaya sacrifice.
Harish Prabhu.
Yes, bro.
Who in the purport during Abhijatasya, there is mentioned if the parents want the child in the godly quality, they should follow 10 principles. So like 10 principles, I didn't get it. Like what are the 10? Like can you just clarify this point?
Prabhupada says 10 principles, this Garbhodhan Samskar. I'll just go through it. I don't know what are this. Prabhupada is mentioning about what. Maybe in tomorrow's class, I'll get back to you. I'll check with some devotees. What are the 10
Okay.
principles?
Okay.
I don't. Maybe the Garbhodhan Samskar might be some 10 aspects. Asas there are.
Dasamida Samskara is used to do, right?
Yeah, but Dasamida Samskars we don't follow to beget the children, no? Because the Dasamida Samskars, acha, it is there for Jata Samskar and all that is has 10 aspects.
Puji, it has 16. There are Shodasha Samskaras.
That's for like whole life.
Yeah.
That's for
So
whole
of
life.
one
Last
which is
Antim
Garbhadan
Samskar.
is, yeah, Garbhadan is first one, I guess.
Sorry?
Garbhadan is the first one, right? Of that.
Yeah, Garbhodhan is
So
first and
in,
Antim is the last, 16th.
right. So I think inside that there are some 10 principles. Maybe I am
maybe.
just maybe.
We'll see. All of you also can check. Tomorrow we can discuss this. I don't know. Okay, Ashim Prabhu.
Guruji, like here the 26 qualities we are discussing here that there's some qualities have a specifically more importance for some order of the society. The first three, like for sannyasi, and other three, we discussed six, so other three were for householders. Sometimes when devotees come, means when we guide or when we get guidance or when we give guidance to others, so that time we encourage, like he is a student only and he is going to marry, and we say, so focusing on the fearlessness that depend on the God. So that is important, or ideally I think yes, for him we should encourage that by honest means earn a good livelihood and do charity, produce Krishna conscious children and do sacrifices like that. Can we relate this while
Yeah.
guiding, or that time we should relate? Yes, that's.
Yeah, very good question. Actually, see, why Srila Prabhupada, sorry, why Srila Prabhupada is attributing these qualities or assigning these qualities to a particular varna and ashram. Because the person at that level, he has that adhikar to follow in that level. A boy does not have so much faith in Krishna, and you tell that just depend on Krishna, and then the person will not be able to follow. So the person right now is not on that level. So we can't tell him that just depend on. But a person who is eligible, who has practiced and who has been practicing, then you tell him, are you depend on Krishna? Why you are looking for some relative or some politician? You depend on Krishna, Krishna will maintain you. You already have been practicing sincere devotee. So depend on Krishna. Like that you tell him. But a person he is not having that much faith and he's looking around 10 other shelter and we tell him just depend upon Krishna and it will not work. That's why that the adhikar has to also be there. He is practicing, then we tell him. That's why it is for sannyasis. So much for sannyasis. That people, they have, sannyasi means what? The person has already practicing and then he's on that level. Of course, for devotees, no, not that for depending on Krishna means one has to be sannyasi. It's not exactly like that. Anybody who is, practicing a minimum level of faith, we can always try to increase people's faith. Counseling or training people means is increasing the people's level of faith and their dependence on Krishna. So we should guide people in a way by which if they have X amount of faith in Krishna, then the faith is increased to X plus 1 or X plus 2. Like that, every dealing, the best, the actual form of preaching or dealing, whenever people come to us asking questions, then we should make sure that we increase their faith in Krishna. Add a faith and increase their level. So depending upon what level they are, we have to give. A person has already read like Arjuna, what Krishna is telling. Sarva dharman paritejya mamekam saranam. Krishna did not tell that very beginning. Arjun, what you are not fighting? Sarva dharma, Krishna did not tell from 2.13 or 2.14. Sarva dharman paritejya mamekam saranam. He builds the topic. And the whole Bhagavad Gita is used to build the faith of Krishna, faith of Arjun, and towards then Krishna gives the essence that Sarva dharman paritejya mamekam saranam. Like that. So depending upon the faith, the person, their level of practice, one has to give the medicine.
Yeah, yes, thank you very much. It is very clear.
Anything else? I see here many seniors are also there. Arjun Sarthi Prabhu is here. Prabhu is very senior to us, but he is attending. So, Prabhu, you can correct. Speak something in case I spoke something here and there, please.
No, Prabhuji. It was enlightening. You can continue.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, one question from this point. Gyan Yoga Vivasthiti, Prabhuji.
Yes.
So here they're not telling about Bhakti Yoga, especially Krishna is telling about the Gyan Yoga. Because we heard that last 6 chapters are from Gyan. So that's the reason
Yeah.
Krishna is telling especially for Gyan, not telling for Bhakti, no?
Yes. Yeah, yes. The whole 6 chapters, basically Krishna has emphasized Gyan, knowledge. Yeah. Yeah, not emphasized exactly. He has kind of, but that's why Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur said that the last 6 chapters they talk about Gyan Yoga. Krishna explains about. Always Krishna's emphasis is always on Bhakti Yoga only. And everywhere you will find Bhakti Yoga. And in Srila Prabhupada said that, all 700 slokas you can find Bhakti element. Yeah, that's true. But here that's Jnana Yoga. Exactly, very true. Thank you, Anil. Correct. I think Akshay Prabhu is saying something. Hare Krishna. I'm not able to hear. You all are able to hear? Hare Krishna.
Not
No,
No,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji. No, Prabhuji.
Okay. Mandar Prabhu has raised hand. Yes, Mandar Prabhu, please say.
Prabhuji, here in the purport, Prabhupada have explained about Dhamma, self-control. So he explained here it is specially meant for householder. And then he explained there about sex life, that how one should only engage in sex life for propagation of children. But in one sense, Dhamma is for everyone. I mean, apart from sex life, now there are many things to be controlled, even within the bodily activities. So, because for the same Dhamma, Prabhupada explained different ways in different shlokas. And Dhamma is in Srimad Bhagavatam, it comes. It explains in a different. So is there means any particular thing? So for this 26 qualities which mentioned here, Prabhupada explained Dhamma is in only one of the characteristics.
So as our Prabhu was also mentioning, these chapters are so much speaking about the Jnana Yoga. Qualities being spoken here for. So Prabhupada is attributing all these qualities to different varna and ashram. So not necessarily as such, everybody needs self-control. But grihasthas need to have an eye on this always. That because they have to live around with the senses, sense object, and they have to go and fetch income. So they're dealing with the external sense objects or things that are not directly Krishna conscious are like more. That's why the control has to be very much in mind. Self-control. They have to live with wives, live with children, live with relatives. So they have to always keep guard of themselves. Make sure that everything is like sometimes so many people are there dealings with in-laws. And that's why a person which are grihastha, they have to this quality is very much emphasized. Otherwise, the brahmachari also need to have self-control. Can a brahmachari eat like anything he wants just because he does not have a wife? He doesn't have to be careful of guard himself of self-control. No, everybody has to have it. But here Prabhupada is trying to, the whole this because Krishna is talking in terms of a particular context here. That's why Srila Prabhupada is sticking to the context here in the purport.
Thank you, Guruji.
Okay, so should we stop here? Shantanu Prabhu, are you there? Hare Krishna. Okay, we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji.